got a podcast going with Diamond. You know we're gonna have fun in this little place. We're gonna bring y'all some good tips and advice. She gonna share about what she gonna say. We're gonna be here. It's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna pass it to Diamond cause she's about to go off.
About to go off. Yeah, hey, my name's Diamond, always rhyming, all the time, and I got dressed in all black. Matter of fact, I'm all that, and I love myself. I got wealth, yep, I'm rhyming, and I am so cool, and you gonna drool when you see us together forever, cause we about to kill it, we will it, we win it, and you know I'ma get it, I get it, again and again. I'm your friend, and we finna go in.
What the heck? Hey everyone! I hope you guys love that intro. We are back with another episode of And So. I'm so excited. This is my podcast for ordinary people with extraordinary impact.
Love.
And today we have my special, amazing, beautiful, talented, wise Diamond.
Hi, everyone.
With us today.
Hey,
and yeah, I'm so excited to talk about everything we're going to talk about. We're going to get into your music because she's a singer, musician, songwriter. It's giving all those things.
I love that.
And we're also going to get into healing, our advice on that, our experiences with that, and also talk about the importance of community. So I'm excited to dive in. Let's get into it. Like, when did you first start singing? Or like realize that you could sing?
Oh, that's a good question. I've always sang. I don't know when I realized it. My dad was a music producer, so I've always been around music since I was little. Yeah, since I was like months old. Yeah. And I've always sang. I don't know the age that I started to sing, but I think I realized I wanted to become a singer around 7 or so. I don't know if you know who Christina Grimmie is.
Yes.
Fire.
Wow.
She inspired me to become a singer. I would write songs with my brother. We would put on shows for my mom and my stepdad and just do the most. I did like a talent show when I was in middle school. And I feel like it's a great outlet for me to get my emotions out. And so I love music. I love songs. Definitely. And I feel like it brings people together for sure.
Yeah, it does.
I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that you knew that from such a young age, too, that you always wanted to do that. That it was, like, part of your calling. Oh,
I'm doing it.
Yes, she is. She's doing the thing. So, I'm sure people want to hear what you sound like.
Ooh.
So, we're going to play a little game called Song Association.
Oh, man.
So this game, basically, we have like a random word, and we have 10 seconds to think of a song that has that word in the song. So it can't be the title.
Oh, it can't be the title?
No. It got to be in the song.
Okay.
It got to be in the song.
It's got to be in there.
So we're going to ask our live studio audience.
My boyfriend.
Yes! For our random words. Okay. What is our first word?
Pillow.
Pillow? Okay.
Oh, it can't be in... Oh, pillow talk. Does he say that in
there?
Oh, do I have to do that? That's it? Do I have to keep going? I don't know the rest. In a better day, a better day. In fire.
That used to be my jam.
Yeah?
When that first came out, I was like, Zayn.
Zayn
8, that was like his first solo single. It was a good time to be alive, for real.
Next one, story.
Story.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. You have like 2 extra seconds. Yeah.
Story of my life, I take her home, I drive all night until she's warm inside.
Hey! I love One Direction!
I literally, the thumbs up are killing me. I have been a Directioner since I was like 10 years old. Like,
girl,
my whole room was just blasted. Like, every song, every nook and cranny, I had One Direction shoes, pants. Like, I had One Direction backpack.
Playing.
I was not.
Who was your favorite?
It was Harry. It still is.
Okay, yeah. Good answer.
I'm a Harry girl.
I was a Harry girl, too.
That sounds weird. Well, I mean, if you are, cool, but like...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Harry Styles, girl. I love him. He's awesome.
We love Harry Styles.
We love Harry Styles.
We do. Mine was Harry and Niall.
Me too!
Yeah! My little Irish king or whatever.
Irish King. It's funny because, like, I knew, like, Niles, like, where he was born and, like, his... Oh, maybe I shouldn't say this. Kind of weird.
No, I'll be real.
No, okay. Where he was born, like, the time he was born, before I knew, like, what time I was born. Come on. One Direction reunion tour.
If you're listening to this,
Reunion.
Please. Thank you.
Reunion.
You?
You. I love. I wish y'all could see him.
I know. I wish we had like a second camera right here, y'all.
Oh yeah, he's so cute.
Dang.
He fine, believe me.
Next word, behavior.
My worst behavior. No. They used to never want to hear us. Remember? Mother love never loved us. We love Drake.
Okay, Drake.
We love Drake too.
Okay, Drake.
8. 4 plus 4?
8. How many letters are... Wait, are there 8 letters in your name? No.
7.
Oh!
Dang.
How many letters are in diamonds?
I knew you were going to say that.
8.
How many letters are in diamonds? Right.
Okay. The last word?
Situation.
Ooh.
Oh. What's the situation? It's a Ruth B song. I don't know if you know who Ruth B is.
I do know who Ruth
Okay.
is. Okay, give it to us.
That's
okay.
all I know.
So she got all of them?
Dang, on camera too.
Literally on the spot?
On the spot. Yay.
I love that, like, every time you drop a new song, I have a dramatic video to send you.
I love them. They're so cute. Thank you.
Of course.
Oh my
I do it every
gosh.
time, y'all. I send her, like, a video of me, like, with my raw reactions to her new songs. And they're always extra. And they always have, like, names
I'm
in
extra. It makes sense.
We love it.
I love it.
I gotta do it.
I appreciate how much time and effort you put into it because I know it takes some time.
Of course.
Thank you
I'm
so
like
much.
actually a fan of your music.
Oh
like
my
I actually
gosh.
love it. Like your one song, O2.
Mm.
I was like, we crying today.
That's real. That's a sad one.
We cry. No, literally.
We're making more happy ones though.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
You said you wanted to do that, right? Like make more like upbeat music.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like, ooh, are we getting into it already?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like,
I was like, yeah.
yeah. I feel like, I don't even know where to start with this sentence, but there is like an undercurrent of sadness in my life for like a few years. Having sad songs kind of helped with that, but now that I'm in a much better place and a lot more healed, I can start making really happy music.
Yeah.
I feel like the number one person who's inspired my sound and style is my dad. I realized that when I first started making music, and not much now, but in the beginning, up until I made like Long Run, a lot of my songs sound like something he would do or his old songs. But I also really love SZA. I feel like Control, that entire album inspires me.
Yes.
That is like one of my top
You know I
favorite.
love
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I do. She's fire.
I love her.
I think Control in particular, that album just like did something to me. It was like I got hit by something. I was like, whoa.
Same.
I grew up with the Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot, and so
Okay.
that's kind of like alternative and has funk. Maybe a little bit of Christina Aguilera, because when I was younger, I used to listen to her a lot too.
Well, I hear that too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because Baby Bell.
yeah.
I'm hearing that.
You know.
When you were saying those names, like I think of like when you're singing, and like sometimes you have more of like a softer voice, like Billie Eilish, or you have like more like volume and like you're belting, like those other artists. So that's cool. You have so much range.
Thank you.
Which is so cool. And I feel like
that.
that can like flow well into like your upbeat songs, but then also if you want a good like sad,
mellow late night drive.
Yeah, late night drive. I feel like she has a lot of good songs out for late night drive.
Facts. Thank you.
Long Run. I'd be like, what do you think is your favorite song that you've put out? And like, what does that song mean to you?
Oh, that's a good question. That I've put out. Whoa, I've never been asked that before. Currently, I love His Loss mainly because of the range that's portrayed in that song. I feel like all my other songs are more like, I'm kind of sitting here, or I kind of go up here, then I go back like down here. But that song, His Loss, is very, it just shows you what I have. And there are other songs that are not out yet that's like, oh wow, that's what your voice sounds like, and people don't know. So I love His Loss for that. But I think my favorite song that like I've written and put out Ooh, that's a good question. I would honestly probably say Long Run. That has a soft space in my heart because I feel like that was the first song that I ever like fully produced by myself. And then like the lyrics are mine, the runs are mine. Like it's just a fun song, and I feel like that was the first one that was more R&B type, and it kind of fits where I'm trying to go. And I got a lot of good feedback on that one, so that's probably my it has a special place in my heart. I love Long. And whenever people are like, "You don't make happy songs," I'm like, "Listen to Long Run. It's so good. Like it's fun.
It's fun.
Exactly. So I love that song.
I love those too. You're a songwriter too. So what's kind of like? Yeah, I'm curious. What's your like process with making music?
Oh wow.
Because I feel like I, as an outside person, just listening to music, I just don't understand it enough, and I want to appreciate it more because I know that it's probably a lot of hard work, like creatively, technically. So I'm like curious, like when you're like wanting to make a song and you're like writing it, and do you produce your songs too? Okay, like you don't have to share like everything. Like there's certain things that you're like,
that's okay,
but like
yeah. That's a good question. I think it depends. Sometimes I'll be like at a stoplight and I'm like, oh wait, this is stuck in my head, and I record it, and then I'm like or whatever, and then I go back to it later, and so I have a lot of ideas in my voice memos, and then it really just depends. Some days I just grab my guitar and see what melodies I can come up with. Some days I just start with a bass because I feel like if I start with the bass, I can kind of understand where the rest of the song's trying to go. Sometimes I'll have a lyric in my head, or I'll have like a whole song in my head that's already seen to be written, and then I just kind of write it down. Other times it takes me a minute. I have writer's block, and that sucks. But I think it's just a part of the creative process. There's a lot going on in your brain, so it's okay when your brain's like, okay, I don't know what to say right now.
And I heard you talk about writer's block too. Like I feel like that's definitely a thing that a lot of people, even people who don't make music, like just creative people in general, like find themselves in. So like for you, when you're like making your music and you're not feeling like as inspired, or like you're having a hard time, like what usually kind of helps you get out of that like rut?
I think taking a break helps me. Touching some grass helps me.
Touch some grass.
Yeah, going outside, taking care of myself, and then listening to old songs helps me a lot too, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that slapped, and it makes me feel more inspired to make more.
Oh, like of yourself?
Oh yeah. Or like ideas that I have, and I'm like, oh, I can just work off this. Exactly. Yeah. So I inspire myself, I guess. Yeah. Which is cool. I love that. But I have a new song coming out called Nervous, and it's a vibe. It's giving like early 2000s Timberland era, but also my own. So I'm super excited. Yeah. I hope you like it. I feel like you can be like, it's like a dance song. Like, you can dance to it. But not like a... you'll see. You'll see when it's out. But
also, you be performing. We need to talk about that. Okay. What the heck? You be performing, y'all. I've been to her concerts, and it's so cool. Like, girl, you don't understand. Like, when you perform, you, like...
I'm in my mode.
You're in it.
In the beginning, I was trying to kind of have, like, what outfit identifies as me? And I would wear, like, a dress that looked like Tina Turner dress-esque, but I was like, I'm not trying to be Tina Turner, and it wasn't until my dad was like, I feel like you should just go out and be yourself. And then I'd be pulling up with my jeans and a crop top, and that's it. Like, that's literally who I am, you know. Despite this, I look kind of suave today because we're going to the museum, you know.
Okay, museum.
Going to the Getty, you know.
The Getty, okay.
Exactly. But I love performing live. It is so much fun. I love the boys. We got Jonathan Roach on drums, Joe Cartucci on the piano. We got Corey Semenes on the guitar and sometimes bass. Alan Carter on the bass, sometimes guitar, and it's honestly a blast. It's like one of the greatest feelings because I just feel like I'm fully in my element, and then I don't see anybody, I don't hear anybody. I'm just kind of like, this is my moment, and this is where I belong.
You seem like so confident when you're up there too. Yeah. And just like having so much fun.
I am. It's fun. I think that's the thing about music and like or art or like anything you're passionate about. Like, have fun. It's literally the point. I don't think it should be like, sometimes I guess it gets stressful if it's like your occupation, but I think at the end of the day, we're just here to enjoy and do what we love.
Has there been like any like moments that you had like on stage where you like messed up or something?
Oh girl,
like a
yes. Well, the last time we played at the Viber Room in Hollywood.
Oh, I remember that.
And the song was in the wrong key. My fault though, because I totally forgot like the order of songs, which it was written out, and I don't know why my brain just wasn't braining, and like the piano was playing a different key than the guitar and the bass, and I was just like, I can't hear anything, so I'm gonna sing the original key, and like you hear it in the beginning of the video, and I was just kind of like, hello, this is the viper round, but it's okay. I feel like it just makes it so much more human, like whatever.
And most people honestly don't notice it.
Yeah. I've noticed that too. Where I'm just like, I feel like if you're an artist, you notice, of course, everything. Or like if you're a filmmaker and you're watching a film, you notice your craft and something that you master at. But like, I feel like sometimes people critique songs, and I'm like, nobody would have noticed. If you don't know music, like no music, nobody knows. It's like nobody cares. Like it's not that deep unless you really want to be like perfectionist about it, which I am. But sometimes I'm just kind of like, nobody knew. Yeah. And it's the sun's still shining, the world's still. It's fine. Right. The way that performing works with music. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
To perform at the cha-cha room, cha-cha slide room, they're like, okay, you need to make $200 in sales. And so that's $10 a ticket. So it's like, okay, 20 people need to come. Okay, man. So you sell 20 tickets. And so you're like, okay, I made $200. Cool. No, you have to give that $200 to the place. And then any other tickets you sell, that's the money you make.
Wow.
But most things are on like a Thursday night, which who is going to a concert on Thursday night after work? Right. Unless you're like a huge artist like SZA or whatever. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of movement to play. And then if we don't make enough money, then I pay out of my own pocket because I care about my boys. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, was it worth it in the end? No. I feel like exposure is really important, but I feel like there's also other ways to get exposure. I think that also helps with my performance skills, and I love to perform. Yeah. But until I'm looking for more deals that are like more plausible for me, and I have the right to say that now because I'm good at what I do. Yeah. And I'm not going to just like settle for making literally nothing at the end of the day because I have to give it away to the band.
That's like very stressful. Yeah. It puts a lot of pressure on you too for like the turnout versus just like going there and just like just being able to perform. Yeah, girl. Yeah. I hear you. Take your breaks.
Absolutely.
Take your time.
Know your worth, too. Yeah. Hey, if you want to do a private party, just pay me up front, and then I'll be there with the guys.
Or, I know we're talking about live performances, and that you also have Tiny Backyard, which you created, which is so fun. Like, I feel like it's something that I look forward to. Good. It's so much fun. And I feel like it started off like, I remember going to the first one last March, and it was like, there was a good amount of people that showed up, but it was like smaller. And then the next one, I remember everybody pulled up. The last one I went to, that was Halloween, girl, I could not breathe. There were so many people there. I was like, bro, there's people right next to me. But it was cool to see. No personal space. It was packed in there. Yeah. But I was like, wow, it spread. Because I was like, even beyond people that you knew, honestly. I think there's just people that heard about it, that pulled up. So tell me, like, more about how, like, that started. Like, what was your original vision for it? And, like, what has it kind of turned into?
Tiny Backyard, I think I have a lot of friends who are artists. And so I just wanted to put my homies on. And I was like, okay, what can I do? I kind of just want to have, like, a backyard concert where we all just do our own thing. Yeah. And then I was like, I kind of wanted to be like a tiny desk. And then my best friend, Emily Morrison, shout out Emily, I love you. Also Angie, I love you as well. Angie Porter. Emily was like, Tiny Backyard. Yeah, because I was like, I want a backyard concert, like tiny desk. And she said, Tiny Backyard. And I was like, yeah, I love that. And so I kind of planned it all out, asked a few people if they were down. The first time we got like 18 submissions from random people. And I was like, wow. What? This is awesome. Like, people just want to perform. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be something. And so we got a sponsor from a radio station, which was really cool for the first one. Wow. And like, I was just hustling on it. I was just like, we're gonna figure this one out. Or radio sponsor for the second one, not the first one. I brought on people on my team, which is Emily Morrison, Sabrina Porter, and Angie Porter, my bestie. And we've just been grinding ever since with the last Tiny Backyard, and then the one at Angie and Sabrina's house was the Halloween one, which was super packed.
Yes.
Because the first one had 60 people, the second one had 80, and the last one had 100. And I was just like, oh, this is growing.
It's no longer tiny.
It's not, but I love the irony of that. Like, I feel like my goal is to have a music festival called Tiny Backyard, but it's so.
I love that.
It's like so ironic, because how is it tiny? How are we in a backyard if we're in a field? And I'm just like, yes, I love it.
I feel like it's just a good place to like meet people, a good place to like hear people, and just like, yeah. So I love that you bring that all together.
My vision for Tiny Backyard is to have it in my hometown in Central Park. And we have vendors, we have food trucks, we have people who have their own stuff. So I know that Josh Nicholas sells clothes, or anybody who does jewelry. I know people who do all sorts of things. So I want to have people have their stuff there. They just pay for a spot, and then they get all the revenue that they make, so that we put more people on. I just want to put people on. That's the vibe. Yeah.
I like that.
So if you have an idea.
Yeah,
Black Market Flea. Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay,
so,
you're on top of this.
Oh, girl, I'm on top of everything.
I'm so excited. And what's the name of the Instagram? Tiny Backyard Show?
Tiny Backyard Show.
Okay.
Yay.
Yes.
At Tiny Backyard Show.
Yeah, so make sure you guys follow that so you can know when the next one is, so you can pull up. Because they're so much fun. Like, they're so worth coming to. And there's a lot of great people, great performers. And it's just a good time. And it's just good to have community. Community is so important. It really is. Just to be around people, hanging out.
Good people.
Good people.
I'm getting parched.
Wait, what? Oh, you need chapstick? It's okay, girl. I know my lips are not shining anymore.
I'm like, what happened?
They definitely stopped shining like 10 minutes in.
Be close, girl. Close. Yes. By the way, Soph also sings. I don't know why she's over here acting like she don't be singing. You're incredible too. What?
Thank you.
Are you kidding me? Huh? I should be interviewing you. How are you really?
After talking about community, we love community. We need community. In what ways has community and your support systems around you kind of played a part in just healing journeys? Like, I feel like for me, like, it's something that's it's super important and it's crucial, and I feel like not everybody feels or feels like they have the strength to like reach out to that community, or that they're like too much, or like different things like that. Like, I've definitely felt like that at times, and I was just curious to hear about like what kind of that community has meant to you in times of healing.
I feel like my community are my girls, my boyfriend, my parents. Last year was a lot of healing and forgiveness. I was going through some stuff with my dad. And then some other things that were going on, and just a lot of change, I would say. And so through that, I feel like God has pruned me and listened to me, has been really patient with me through a lot of the things and decisions I made during that time. I feel like I was fairly numb towards the beginning of the year last year. And my girls have been my rocks. My girls are Angie and Em. And literally, like, I don't know where I'd be without them. I feel like I was able to be open about everything that happened with both of them. And they didn't meet me with anger or, like, judgment, but just love. And especially since they knew what was going on. And I feel like I'm grateful that I can have a space to be open, because I grew up kind of internalizing things and not being open with people about things. So to have a community of people, whether it's my mom as well, to talk about issues or things that I'm feeling, even if they feel mundane or if they feel like the world's crumbling, I'm happy to have them. My boyfriend, who is so wonderful and who I love, brings me back to earth a lot, because I can just be in my head. I've realized more recently that I can just be living up in there, and I'm like, this is a lot. I just overthink. And so he helps me I feel like I'm a fairly illogical, words. I feel like I'm fairly illogical, or, please, my brain. I'm an emotional person.
Yeah.
I have logic too. I feel like it can balance, but for the most part, I really lean on the emotional side. It helps me kind of think about, okay, what are the facts? Mm-hmm. Not just like invalidate my emotions. He is so good at validating me and loving me. I've literally, we can get into that, but like, I feel like he definitely helps me kind of think about things in a more logical sense of like, okay, rather than me just reacting, like, what are the facts? Validating my reactions, but also like not having to be only reactionary or only emotion led.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's amazing. And I'm so glad you have that, like, and you've built that community, and people have been like come into your life that have been able to be that safe space that you really needed, and people like meeting you where you're at and meeting you with like love and like acceptance and like willing to like be with you in those moments, because I feel like sometimes if you have people that are in your life and you're going through things, they like kind of see a different side of you.
Yes.
And that might be hard for people to kind of like be with you while you can't give as much, or you can't like, you're in just a different headspace. Yeah. So I think that's amazing that you have people that are willing to like stay with you in those seasons and not pull away and just like kind of be with you until you're like back in a different place again, and then still be there for you if you fall again, because it's never like, healing is never linear, like we know that. And like, so you know, like I feel like that's so important to have people who are like just gonna be by your side through everything, and like you said, like somebody who validates you, and like, yeah.
April of 2020, my good friend Aqua, hi Aqua, if you're watching this, shout out to Aqua. She gave me, we were catching up, and she was telling me about like this box that she had in her heart that wasn't healed, and she was like, oh yeah, I prayed for God to like open up a box of things that I need to heal from, and I was like, that sounds horrible. I would never. And she was telling me about it and how it was hard and all this stuff, but like how she got through it. And then we got off the phone, and I like felt the spirit just adamantly being like, pray that prayer. After I said amen, I literally was like, oh, okay, I'm fine. And then, like, it's just the start of a whole charade. I had the biggest panic attack in my entire life. I was shaking for a good hour. And I had my mom come in. I was like, it wasn't even shaking like this. I was like trembling, like, pretty hard. And I was like, what's happening? Like, why am I so scared? But I never really knew what a panic attack was. I feel like I had one. But to that extent, no. And it was really hard. It was the hardest night I've ever had. It was so terrible. And I remember, like, it was yesterday. She had to sleep with me. Like, I couldn't go to sleep without her for that night. And then the next morning, I was just like, okay, I just feel off. And essentially, what was in that box was a lot of unhealed thoughts and memories. This thought that, like, I would never grow up to be 20 because I'm going to die before then. Or this thought that, like, that's, like, the end result. Like, I'm always, like, no matter what happens in your life, like, you're gonna, you know, commit suicide. I was like, well, that's a pretty unhealthy thought. I feel like I had that when I was maybe 13 to 16. And then didn't really think about it. But over the years, like, I just felt those random intrusive thoughts come into my brain. And I was like, why am I thinking this? This is so weird. I didn't feel like I wanted to do it, but it was just like random thoughts. And I was like, I hate feeling this way. I feel like I tried to explain to people, but they didn't get it because I thought that I wanted to, but I didn't. And so the entire 2020 and 2021 was just me having to, like, literally, or God uprooting every single old self-fulfilling prophecy that I had made for myself, and rooting, like, things that are noble, things that are good, things that are, like, good character traits and qualities, and things to fill that void. And that was the hardest year in my entire life. Literally that and 2023 were some butt kickers. But yeah, I feel like that was really difficult. And yeah, it kind of started the wave of, okay, I need to heal from a few things. It was like the jump start of it all. But Yeah, it was tough. I don't know. I feel like eventually I got through it because God, it was like repetitiveness of telling myself like that's not what I want. It's not what I want, and having to like deny your brain every day gets tiresome. Like literally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually tired.
But it takes like everything.
It takes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had some really hard days, but like I don't know, I just kept being open about what I was going through. Yeah. And I think that helped a lot. I journaled every single day. I was in my word fighting off. I was fighting off demons. I was like, there's no way I'm doing that because I don't want that. That's not something that I ever want for myself. And so, yeah, it was hard, but I feel like over time, your brain gets retaught new things. Yeah. And then so now I'm at a place where if I have a random intrusive thought once every 6 months, my brain is like, that wasn't even valid. Why'd you say that? And I'm like, it makes me happy because I feel like I'm proud of myself. That wasn't necessary to say. You can leave with that thought. And I'm like, I just feel like I'm mentally a lot stronger. And that makes me happy. Yeah. 4 years in the making. But even then, like I'm very proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too, girl.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing about that and opening up about that part of your life that was really just difficult for you. And I feel like it really does take so much strength to like get to that place, and it takes time, but you were trying every day. I think you should share that, the analogy you said about the boat, because you shared that with me off camera. Oh, okay. That was really good.
Yes. Okay. So I compared healing to like more so of not a boat, but a window that has like the turning window that you do manually rather than the one that you just press. Yeah. So if a window, you're trying to get your car window to work, but like it's broken, it's just like a continuous motion where you have to continue to push and you have to use a lot of inertia. But after time, you put some WD-40 on it or whatever, you go through it, it starts to get a little bit easier. Yeah. Or it's kind of like churning butter. You can do a lot of kind of analogies like that, but like once you continue to like consistently do something, it gets a lot easier to do and it's a lot more flowy. That's true. Kind of what it was. Yeah. That's
true. And you might have waves along the way where you have to like put in more
effort.
My arm
hurts.
Yeah, my arm hurts. Yes. I gotta put in more effort. Yeah. It gets easier.
Right.
Yeah, but it's very up and down. But I love that though.
I think there's this misconception or this phrase that people use where it says time heals all wounds. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think intentional healing will heal all wounds or the majority of them. I don't know if you're ever going to be at a point where you're totally completely fine for the rest of your life, because I think that new things come up and things like that, but it's not discouraging. I feel like we're always in a state of growth, and that's a beautiful thing. I think healing is important. I think it's important to understand your emotions, and if you have people that you can talk about them with, or trying to find a community of people that are wonderful and not judgmental and who will listen to you, and not only have people who will listen but will give sound advice as well. I feel like that's also important, to not just talk but like have somebody who's in your life. I've been in therapy since I was like 14 years old, so I feel like my therapist this has been the same one for 10 years, and she's incredible. And we have a really great relationship, and she knows me by now. And so it's really nice to have people in your life who can also see from a different perspective and not just from the lens and scope of your own brain, but very important.
So important.
But just kind of like the outside of, oh, well, did you think about this, or what if this? And then you're like, oh, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. So I think healing is crucial to life, because there's so much that goes on and we can hold on to so many things, but I think sometimes it can be scary because there's so much there. Where do we start, in healing? But I think take one day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself and think that you have to heal everything at once, because that's too much. But start by one thing, because one is enough. For sure. And just continue to, work on it. I think having a relationship with God is really helpful with that, because I have someone to put my foundation in. I go back to the Word, and it's hopeful. And so that definitely helps me.
All that. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
And thank you for coming on here.
Girl, anytime.
Yes.
This was fun.
Fun time. Yeah.
Me too.
I love it. I love the crackhead energy.
This was crackheady, and I'm crackheady.
I love the crackheady.
This is This is my Instagram right here. It's at Diamond Longs. TikTok at Diamond Longs. Mm-hmm. All streaming services with music. So Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. Diamond Longs. I'll spell it out. DIAMOND LONGS. You have like the sparkle effect.
Period.
Diamond Longs.
Yeah, I love it. And I love your TikToks too.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, the remixes.
Oh, bruh. I need to get back on.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Oh, you waiting?
I'm waiting. Where's the remixes?
Where's the remixes?
Remember when I did that one where you had one with the Cardi B song?
Yes! I was thinking, I was like, you also did like dancing reactions, which I love so
crazy.
Much. Yeah.
That was a funny time. That was the pandemic days.
Yeah, pandemic days.
Yeah.
You had a blue sweater and some sunglasses.
Yeah, I was in my bathroom. We're in the middle of the dark days.
It's light now.
Yeah. And follow at Tiny Backyard Show on Instagram so y'all can be there and join in on the fun. Make sure that you follow at AnSoph on Instagram and AnSoph on TikTok, and make sure you follow our pages on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can listen to the audio version, but we will see y'all in the next. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye.
Yeah! That was so fun.
And good.